Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I hope you are fine and ready to join our learning activities today. Here we are going to discuss the last topic for this unit about defining and non-defining relative clause. Okay, before we discuss the material, let's start our meeting today by Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, we are going to review about the relative clause and we are going to differentiate between defining and non-defining relative clause. So you are able to differentiate both type of relative clause. We will review about relative clause first before we go further to the discussion. Relative clauses are clauses starting with the relative pronoun like who, that, which, whose, where, when, and the other. For the example, you can see first Lord Thompson, who is 76, has just retired. The underlying clause is called the relative clause and it is started by who. And the second one, this is the house which Jack built. The relative clause is which Jack built and it is started by which. So who is for human and which is for non-human. These are the relative pronouns that you can employ in your sentences. You can use who to refer to people as subject, whom to refer to people as object, and then which to reverse or relate to animals and object, and why to reverse to reason. You can see the examples as well. These are the other relative pronouns. You can use when, where, whose, and that. You can pause the video to look at the example so you can understand it well before we discuss about defining and non-defining relative clause. Please take your time. Now let's get to know about defining the relative clause. It defines exactly what you're talking about. So if you eliminate the clauses, then your sentences will be meaningless. It means that this clause is being the part of the sentence that complete the sentence itself. These are the examples that I give you. Let's see the first one. Tsunami is a long high sea wave which is caused by an earthquake, submarine landslide, or other disturbance. See here, which is caused by an earthquake, submarine landslide, and other disturbance is called defining relative clause because it becomes the part of the sentence that cannot be eliminated. You have seen here in the second one, in the second line, tsunami is a long high sea wave. Then what kind of wave? We don't know, so that's why we need additional clause, we need relative clause to define the sentence into meaningful sentence. So you cannot eliminate the relative clause from the sentence. And the other characteristics is that defining relative clause, they don't have comma. You can compare it with the non-defining relative clause later. The second example, children who hate chocolate are uncommon. In this case, the relative clause is who hate chocolate, and if you eliminate the clause, then the sentence will be confusing. You can see here, children are uncommon. What kind of children? We don't know. So in here, we need the relative clause. So these sentences are called consisting defining relative clause. Now let's see what is called by non-defining relative clause. it gives extra information in a sentence. So because it only gives extra information, actually it's okay to eliminate the clause from the sentence. And in general, usually it is introduced by comma. You can see from the example here. Let's see the example. The first one, the Nile River, which is located in Egypt, is the longest river in the world. In this case, which is located in Egypt is introduced by comma here, you can see. And it is okay to eliminate the clause because it actually only gives extra information. So when the sentence becomes the Nile River is the longest river in the world, it's okay and it is meaningful sentence. The second one, Mr. Sam, who lives next door, is a doctor. In this case, everybody has known Mr. Sam, so it's okay to say Mr. Sam is a doctor. It's okay to eliminate who lives next door because everybody has known that. Okay, now look at the exercise to check our understanding. Here I have two sentences. The first one, Marie Curie is the woman who discovered radium. And the second one, we had fish and chips, which I always enjoy. Try to guess to think which one is defining relative clause and which one is non-defining relative clause. I'll give you some seconds to think of it. Have you guessed it? Now, let's see the answer. So, the first sentence, Marie Curie is the woman who discovered radium. It is called defining relative clause because you cannot eliminate the clause here. And there is no comma, you can see here. And the second one is non-defining relative clause because we had fish and chips. From the first characteristic, you can see there's comma here. And the second one, which I always enjoy, is only an extra information. So it is okay to eliminate the clause if you want. Okay, and it's done for our discussion today. You can try to review again or you can watch the video again to make you understand. And don't forget to do the evaluation sheet to check your understanding. In case you've got some questions or you feel confused about this topic, you can try to contact your English teacher. Okay everyone, good luck for all of you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.